Just when you thought Absolute Batman couldn't get any better, Daniel Warren Johnson not only delivers the best issue of Absolute Batman, but possibly the best comic of 2025. The Absolute Batman 2025 annual is a story that only Daniel Warren Johnson could tell, and once again solidifies why he's such a singular voice in comics today. Let's talk about it. Hey Internet, I'm Chris, and this is the place on the internet where I talk about comics, movies, games, and things I'm generally passionate about. If you want to hear more about Absolute Batman, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Wow, there are very few words I can use to describe how I feel about this book, so I'm going to try in this video to talk about it. Now, before I get too deep into this annual, if you haven't read it, please go read it and come back because I'll be talking about the entire issue, spoilers, and I already spoiled it for a friend and I feel really bad, so I don't want to do it for you. Daniel Warren Johnson is the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, we knew this book was coming for a while. The cover was revealed months ago, and most people speculated that Batman would be fighting supremacists. And he does. Daniel Warren Johnson does not hold back in this issue, which I think is crazy considering sort of like the political climate. And it was just refreshing to read. And what Daniel Warren Johnson is so good at is he does things that obviously his art is very kinetic and has this energy and obviously all the wrestling influences and all that kind of stuff. But especially when he's writing his own stuff, it's just so emotional. Like this story, we find Absolute Batman, I don't know how far deep into his career as Batman, as he goes to sort of like the outskirts of Gotham City, Slaughter Swamp, to buy supplies, and he finds that there's these migrants that are being targeted and sort of being run out of this town that has been sort of plundered by the big corporations. And if you've been reading Absolute Batman, you know, sort of like, hey, he's broke, he doesn't have the Wayne fortune, and what he's going up against, things like Absolute Joker and all that is the establishment. The villains are sort of the elite in this. And it's just, again, like, I'm going to go through it, like, and I'll put him just, you get this emotional story between Bruce and his father. We haven't gotten much of Thomas Wayne in this book. Obviously, he died in the first issue. But we get a sense of like where Bruce gets his sense of righteousness, why he would turn into Batman after the tragedy that happened to his parents, and also the tragedy at the zoo. And you're seeing sort of like a young Batman be really angry, and sort of the only way he knows how to make a difference as an individual is inflicting pain on those who inflict pain on others. And like, again, very few words. You just look at this page. Craziness. I love this book. I have to say, too, this annual has two stories. It has the Daniel Warren Johnson one and James Harren. James Harren's art is awesome, amazing, ultra mega, great artist, great creator, all that kind of stuff. But I feel bad for them because they had to follow Daniel Warren Johnson's, like, all-time Batman story. And I was reading it, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back and read Daniel Warren Johnson's part of this story again. And it's just so cool. Like, he's buying like supplies and non-lethal like weapons, obviously to kind of act out his war on crime. And just wow. Like, and if you haven't been reading Absolute Batman, this is actually like a really great issue to just like pick up, because this annual, it gives you some context as to who Bruce is. And I think it does what an annual should be. Sometimes with annuals, they can kind of be like a greatest hits. Yeah, they're a side story, but this definitely feels like it informs me about Bruce's journey, who he is. Daniel Warren Johnson has done with things like Transformers, Beta Ray Bill, Dual Power Bomb. You go into these things sometimes and you're like, oh, like it's going to be things smashing up together. Like, hey, this is wrestling, all that kind of stuff. And then he just like rips your heart out. Like, he just knows how to, craft a story that is both big and bombastic and what comics should be, and then also something really deeply emotional. Like, there's been a lot of conversation online about, hey, this being adapted and all that kind of stuff. But what I love about Absolute Batman as a comic is that it feels like a comic is doing all the things that only can be done in comics. And Daniel Warren Johnson knows how to point the camera as an artist. His panel work is such that he knows how to make callbacks and really emotional stuff. There's a point where Bruce is saved by a priest, and that priest has a little photo. He's looking at it. You find that actually this priest knew Bruce's father, and Bruce's father, Thomas, was someone that was really active in the community and tried his best when he was younger to make a difference in Gotham. Now, if that kind of comes up later and we see maybe why Thomas Wayne was murdered and that kind of stuff, I think that definitely plants seeds for the future of Absolute Batman, which again tells you how good this book is as an annual. Again, sorry, James Herron. The art is amazing in your story, but I just can't stop gushing about what Daniel Warren Johnson has done. And also, you get to see him find the Batmobile. The Batmobile in this Absolute universe is a big truck. You know, it's a construction truck that actually was left on site because this big company came in, started construction, left all the materials, and look, we get to see it before it was painted black, before he added a bunch of new stuff to it. And like seriously, man, like look at that. And it's just again refreshing. You know, Bruce is going through stuff, and I think in the world we're seeing a lot of things happen that most people are not on board with, and it's not easy to make a book like this that is clearly extremely political and be able to kind of get on the other side of it. But that goes to show you how talented Daniel Warren Johnson is and how he lets his art speak for him. Before, if you made Superman smashes the Klan, everyone gets it. But sadly, we live in a time where people have blurred the lines between what's right and wrong. Clearly, I know what's right, but this is the time we live in, and I love what Daniel Warren Johnson was able to do with this book. He was able to make a political statement, but also make something that was extremely Batman and cool that you could give to anyone, and is a really great jumping on point for people that haven't read Absolute Batman. And I even put my DC hat to make this review because I am just fanboying all over this. I'm going to try to buy as many copies of this as possible and give them out to as many people as I can. What DWJ is able to do with such a simple story, Batman going out to get supplies, he sees people being evil and racist and just jumps into action. And that's why I love Batman, and that's why I love Daniel Warren Johnson. He's able to turn something as simple as that into something that makes me want to cry, makes me want to get up and cheer, makes me want to go out and vote. Like, he is just a master at what he does as a comic creator, and I'm always in awe of what he's able to do. Make me care about something like Transformers, do a power bomb, make me cry. And I didn't even show this little piece. Like, as much as all that's going on, Bruce is, going through all of this and, fighting, and you think it's like this euphoric moment where he's like really happy stomping out these criminals. But, at the end of the day, he's just that kid that witnessed his dad die. And you see the Batmobile here, and look at Batman. Big Absolute Batman crawl, literally crying. I want to cry. Thank you, Daniel Warren Johnson, for making the best Absolute Batman single issue and the best comic of 2025. What do you guys think? Was this your favorite issue of Absolute Batman? Definitely was mine. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.